Welcome to Bossy Queens Podcast. Bossy Queens Podcast is a weekly podcast where we open up the conversation about being a woman and the everyday truths and issues that we face. We touch on manifestation, personal development, prioritizing ourselves with self-love, and so much more. I'm your host, Sade Renee, and welcome to our private space. So grab your wine and let's talk, sis. Welcome back. Are y'all excited? Because I'm excited. Welcome back, y'all. Oh my gosh. Bossy Queens, what is poppin'? I am so excited to be back. First off, let me say thank you to everyone that supported and still is supporting this empowering podcast. Because 2023 has been lifing to the fullest. Okay? Life has been lifing, and we're going to get into that today. But I just wanted to show my appreciation to my followers and everyone that's following this show. I have been on a hiatus, and y'all are still DMing me and commenting on socials like, hey, sis, like, where the episode at? And I told someone, girl, I'm taking a break. And she was like, okay, well, hurry up. I need another episode. So I will say, y'all helped me so much in my hiatus. And during my hiatus, y'all have been running my last episode up. The How to Manifest What You Want episode is doing numbers. And that is because of all of you. So I'm so grateful. And I'm also getting some amazing feedback from that episode. So thank you. And Bay has been in my ear all year. Like, yo, you got this. Just start writing your content. It's going to come back. So, Bay, if you're listening, period, because I know you will, thank you for always being my number one supporter, always. I am so grateful for you. I love you. Thank you. So, today on this first episode back, I really want to talk about vulnerability and rebranding yourself and what I've gone through, because I know that y'all can honestly relate. And I know, like, talking to my friend circle, life has been lifing for all of us 2023. Like, I don't know what it is, all these retrogrades, all these moon movements. Like, it's been a lot going on. So to sum up some of the bigger deals of the year for me, where do I start? So I fell off with my best friend this year of 15 years. Yes, talking about a life-changing situation. And, it's on nothing negative. It's just, we fell off. And if you're a avid listener here, then you also know that I moved from Austin, Texas to Atlanta with Bay. So that's actually like my new home now. But we travel about 85 to 90% of the year due to her job. And maybe we'll do an episode going in depth of like what that looks like for us and how we're able to do that soon, because I think that'd be real interesting to share with y'all. But so we live in Atlanta, but we also live in Seattle right now. Two totally different coasts of the U.S. Atlanta, Georgia, Seattle, Washington. So this year I also rebranded my candle business. And now we're back with the podcast. So some of the situations that I faced in 2023 was rebranding myself. And we're going to dive into that on this episode a bit also. But before we get deeper here, I love to just pause for a moment and let you know that if you are not, make sure you're following Bossy Queens on Instagram. That's at BOSSYQUEENS Podcast. That is at Bossy Queens Podcast. I have some giveaways and such that I like to give out to y'all soon, because I really appreciate y'all and love y'all, because y'all loyal. And so I want to give some stuff away, and I want to just really celebrate y'all. So make sure y'all tuned in and following the Instagram page. So back to the topic. So I want to talk about labels and titles and really rebranding yourself. I've been reading the 4 Agreements wisdom book, and y'all, honestly, it has allowed me to internally check myself. If you have not read the 4 Agreements, please go get it. Matter of fact, if you follow my personal Instagram, it's actually on my Amazon cart. This book is so amazing. Maybe we need to do a book club. I don't know. But the book is amazing. And like I said, it has allowed me to internally check myself. So one of the things I've been working on in 2023 was rebranding myself. And we don't talk enough about the influence of social media, the influence of friends, the influence of family, and really just that outside noise. And it's so funny in a way because I also rebranded, like I mentioned earlier, my candle business, and I didn't realize that I was also in a way working on my own personal rebrand for myself at the same time. And I'm going to give you an example. So for example, my candle company, Hippie Mermaids, was released in 2021. And when it started, I noticed that my brand started to be a little bit more luxe and modern, which is not bad, period. I love a luxe and modern candle. I love the creams. I love the black. You know what I mean? But that's not what Hippie Mermaids was. Hippie Mermaids is a candle brand that promotes self-care. I promote self-love. I promote self-empowerment, being who you are, loving who you love, because love is love, honey, and love will always win, period. So that is what Hippie Mermaids is, right? So Hippie Mermaids was meant to be colorful, bright, self-empowering, and honestly queer-based candle company. And so I realized that how could I portray this with my brand if I wasn't being vulnerable and being myself internally? So I had to sit back and analyze the last few years of my life and figure out, who I am and why did I even want to rebrand myself? And it hit me that for 8 years, I worked in corporate America as a young Black woman. And honey, I was soaring, okay? However, with soaring in corporate America came everything else that follows, including the insults and the talks about my clothing. Because let's be honest, I'm blessed to be thick. Like, thank you, mom, period. Like, that's just what it is. And a lot of times, regardless of what you wear, you can't cover that. I was constantly in competition with white men who didn't value my work or my success. And I'm going to pause here for a moment. I'm going to go in depth on this in another episode. But I want to say, even though I was in competition with white men in those positions, my 2 managers above me were also Black women who also either sexually harassed me or degraded me or did negative things for my career. Let's just say that. So, I dealt with sexual harassment in the workplace multiple times. So I decided that I had my eyes tunnel vision on succeeding. Like, I was extremely well. And dealing with all of this had, in a sense, made me cover myself in a lot of ways. For instance, my clothing was a little bit more, let's just say, watered down. But let's be honest, it was so cute. But it wasn't what I truly wanted to wear to express myself. And I think that I didn't want to be looked or, thumbed out for anything other than my hard work, my success, and my numbers, period. And I think that in a sense that made me kind of back into a shadow a tad. And then boom, I leave corporate America 2021, and it was a challenge to step back into who Sade Renee is, on top of being a Black queer woman. Now, I am extremely proud of who I am, but I don't believe that I have to squeeze myself into a title or a box that society has portrayed onto us, especially as a woman. I don't have to label myself as anything. And all of a sudden, things started to make a little bit more sense with me. And I'm sharing all of this backstory with you because all of this allowed me to tap into my internal self, which in return allowed me to rebrand my candle company, Hippie Mermaids, and again, myself eternally. And when I tell you that we know 2023 has been life in, but it's also been so astounding eternally in so many ways. So diving into labels, So with social media and outside noise, music, as humans, it's just so easy for us to just label ourselves. And you are not labeled into anyone's box anymore, okay? Let's just clear that out the way. We should be who we want to be. Lean into you. Lean into you. Be you. Be you. Whoever you are. And you can express yourself, whether that's in your hair color. Sis, if you want to wear pink hair, green hair, orange hair, but you're like, I don't know what my boss is going to say about this. Ooh, they're going to be looking at me funny at work. Girl, do it. Your fashion. If you want to dress like an emo, if you want to dress like a boho girl, if you want to dress like a different girl every day, that is your business, okay? And it's all about, again, being yourself. So be you. Your decor in your home, be you. Your car, your music. Because let me tell you, one thing about me, I do not play about my music. And I am a very diverse person. And I think that's a lot with having, being a military brat and living most of my life. I grew up in Germany. So I think that has a lot to do with that. But listen, I will be listening to some country music, jamming, okay? And then next song on my playlist is going to be a neo soul song. And then the next song on my playlist is going to be hip hop. And then the next song on my playlist is probably going to be some like old school rock and roll or some Paramore. Like, listen to what you want to listen to. And even your friend circle. Like, understand that everyone just isn't for you, and that doesn't mean anything negative or bad. Like, people fall off, people change. So even with your friend circle as well, like, choose who you want to be friends with. If that friend don't like that friend, well, guess what? Listen here, friend, you want to figure it out. Because if I'm going to be friends with her, guess what? I'm going to be friends with her, period, you know? So you truly only have one life. And, when people pass away, someone posts that phrase, usually like on Facebook, right? It hits everyone to their core. But I needed to hit you to your core every day. You only have one life. Do you really want to live it being who your parents want you to be? Who your job wants you to be? Who your friends want you to be? Well, I'm here to tell you, hell no. Not no more. Absolutely not, sis. No, ma'am. Stepping into oneself and saying, you know what, screw the labels, screw everyone else's expectation, I'm going to live for myself, it's just so liberating. And it's truly self-care for yourself walking into your own door. And, I read a post earlier this year that said, how can you expect God to open that door for you if you're not truly walking through the door? I don't think y'all hear me in the back. Let me repeat that. How can you expect God to open that door for you if you're not truly walking through the door? Honey, I don't know about you, but I know that alone made me stop and think, and it made me truly analyze myself. And let's have a little vulnerable moment. Tapping into yourself is hard work. Yes, it's a lot of, empowering yourself and affirmations and cheering yourself on and celebrating the wins and the losses. But there's also a lot of hard discussions that are hard as hell with yourself. There's also those days of crying and feeling like you're a failure because you thought you had these goals by this time and this age, and now you're looking like, where did time go, right? There's a lot of beating yourself up mentally. There's a lot of sad moments because you're in your own head. And I personally think that you have to have those moments and also get past those moments. It's literally all a part of your journey to you. It's like you got to peel back those layers to get to your core. And I wholeheartedly believe that if you want to tap into yourself, into you got to get war ready. You hear me? You got to get war ready. Get that war ready mindset with yourself, because it's you versus you, period. And so I really want to ask you, are you living in your purpose? Are you thriving and enjoying your life, or are you just living? Are you boxing yourself into some label or box that your family, that your friends, work, or you put yourself in? Are you being your true, genuine self? Are you settling with the one life that you're being given? If you can say to any of those questions that you are settling in any way, first off, do not feel ashamed, because it's normal. And I challenge you to journal and ask yourself, who am I? And what do I want to be? So grab that journal, grab that pen. It's probably been a little minute since we used it. I get it. No shade. No, I was the same. But grab it and ask yourself right on the top of that page, who am I? And the other side of that page, ask myself, who do I want to be? And just start letting your brain talk. Like, don't even think. Just get that pen down, let your brain do it, and then you figure it out. These simple questions will honestly allow you to reflect on yourself and truly define who you are as a person. Labels limit your actions, self-concepts, and your true potential. So I want to challenge you to embrace your true self, and the choice is truly yours. Bossy Queens, thank you so much for tuning in today for today's episode. I know it was a little short. I know y'all want some more. It's coming. I promise you. But make sure you're following the Instagram page again at Bossy Queens Podcast. I also want to invite other women as guests on the show. You know, make sure you DM us on Instagram. We have lots of upcoming topics, y'all. Like, it's about to get the tea getting hot. Like, we getting vulnerable. We talking tea. We talking everything. And some of our upcoming topics are going to range from domestic violence awareness, because if you do not know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We're going to talk about peace. We're going to talk about self-care some more. We're going to talk about self-empowerment, baby. We're going to talk about the true struggles of entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about travel CT and travel nursing, mental health. We're going to get into poetry, and we're going to have some guest speakers. Oh my God, it's going to be so exciting. And some of these episodes also are going to be visual. They'll be also on YouTube. So you'll be able to see me or me and a guest actually visually moving forward instead of just listening to us. Because I know y'all tired of just hearing me talk. But, you know, we're going to add some more to it. And I'm super excited for, like, what this is about to be. So thank you again for tuning in today. Until next time, peace, love, and light, sis.